It's McCabe and Jenny inside the Mixed New Music Club tonight with a very special guest from Ohio to Nashville to the Mix Studio. Knox, everybody!
Hey! Woo! Thank you guys for having me. Stoked
Thank you
to
for
be
being
here,
here, man, because last time I saw you was Lollapalooza.
Yes, sir.
And that was your second time in Chicago because your first time was for Hamilton, which you saw twice.
Bingo. Dude, this guy knows his stuff, and I love it. I love it.
Well, welcome back because this time you're here on tour, so thanks for taking a little break. But, kind of, how did it all start for you in Ohio?
Oh, dude. Honestly, I think it came from being in Ohio and being like, I'm sure you guys know, not a whole lot to do out there.
I'm from Iowa. I get it.
You get it.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we were in Iowa. That's, yeah. Yeah, dude. So, being out in the middle of nowhere, I mean, I literally live out in the middle of a cornfield is where my parents live. And so after, high school ended, I was like, I played basketball in high school. And I was like, well, I'm not going to the NBA. So I gotta figure something else out that's still fun and not working, behind a desk 9 to 5. And so, yeah, I went to school at Ohio University. I went to be a teacher. But as soon as I got there, I took a guitar and I was like, this is what's gonna make me cool. I'm gonna have a guitar. And I just learned quick and started doing open mic nights and things. And after 2 years, it kind of just became all consuming. And I was like, I'm going to move to Nashville and just try this thing. Because I pretty much just told myself if I didn't try in 10 years, I was going to hate myself for not trying. So, yeah, I dropped out of school. My parents and my family thought I was insane, which, rightfully so. I didn't really know what I was doing. And I wasn't good when I moved to Nashville at all. But, yeah, just moved down there, started making connections, meeting people, and writing songs. And, now I'm on y'all's radio shows.
You've got a big song out right now, Not the 1975, which is how we're going to kick off the Mixed New Music Club. Tell us about how this song came to be.
So, literally, so I was in LA. I was on a writing trip with some friends, went out there to make some songs, and we went to some show, and then after I was we were at some bar, and no joke, I was at the bar, and this girl started talking to me, and I'm like, I'm trying to be cool, whatever, and She asked what my job was, and I told her I was a musician. I was like, no, I'm I have a record deal, and I'm with Atlantic, I'm trying to flex. And she literally told me, she was like, okay, but you're not Matty Healy, so why would I care? And I was like, damn. I was like,
that's harsh. She's letting you know. And she knows her music too.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, okay. And then the very next day, we came up. I pretty much just came up with the line of, she said, I like your confidence, but you're not the 1975. And then, it just became what it is. It's so funny. I took it to a couple sessions, and the people that I took it to sessions with, they were like, I don't think that's a whole song. And I was like, you guys are crazy. So I brought it back to Nashville and wrote it with my best friend. And, now it is what it is.
Turn a negative into a positive.
Hey, for sure.
Did you ever cover songs, getting into music? What was your favorite song to cover?
I mean, if I'm being honest, I didn't really have one song, but so when I got to college, everybody, I had red hair, so everyone was just like, oh, dude, you're like Ed Sheeran, you have an acoustic guitar.
I get that as well, yeah.
Yeah, anybody with red hair.
Yeah.
So, but I went out of my way in college to I was like, if they're going to call me the Ed Sheeran guy, I'm going to be the Ed Sheeran guy. So I learned every Ed Sheeran song on acoustic guitar. I could play you any of his songs right now.
Would you just roll up to parties with your guitar and just be pull out some Ed Sheeran songs, find the ladies?
Well, no. I wasn't cool in college. Instead of pulling up to parties, I didn't really do that because, like I said, I wasn't a cool kid. I didn't go to the frat parties or anything. But I would go. I actually pulled an Ed Sheeran, and I got a list in Athens, Ohio, of anywhere that would let me come play, poetry nights, open mic nights, talent shows, whatever it was. And I would play music in front of people every single night. I played in a Jimmy John's one time.
That's cool.
Yeah, or I would literally go busk on the street, outside of the bars. And so, yeah, it still didn't make me cool back then, but it was fun. It was worth
Jimmy
it.
John's, I'm surrounded by sandwiches.
That's what I'm
cool
saying.
In my book.
Hey, I appreciate it. I got my chops up, that's for sure. So it was good.
Blink-182, they have been busy as well. They just announced their 2024 tour. Are you a fan of the guys, and are you excited that they have new music out?
I mean, if I'm being honest, I was never all the way into Blink-182. If I'm being real, I've never really been what you would call a scene kid.
Mm-hmm.
I was always into like the poppier side of like things. Like I was always big into like Boys Like Girls, All American Rejects. So like it's funny because sometimes I feel like the scene like claims me because of sneakers, but then I have songs like I Don't Want to Know or like Not the 1975, which I don't think are like punk rock at all. But I do like have the utmost respect for bands like Blink-182 and all of those scenes because they paved such a path, you know, for this kind of music to even exist. So, you know, they got all my love and respect for sure.
And tonight we have Knox in studio, taking a break from tour, but you're pretty much halfway through. This is your first big tour?
Yeah. First like proper big tour, like with my guys. I did a tour last year that was like 14 shows, but we didn't have any money back then. So I actually it was just me who went on the tours with this band called Bill Murray. And it was just me, and I got to play with their band. So their band would play the opening set with me, and then they would come off stage and then go back. So this is the first time I've been out with like my guys, which has been like an absolute blast, dude.
What's something you've learned so far from touring?
Dude, honestly, just like taking care of your body, like that, it matters so much, and like your diet matters so much, and like the amount of sleep you get, and you know, like staying hydrated. I mean, it's crazy. Like, you know, all my friends from back in Ohio are like, "Oh, dude, you're like rock star now, dude. You're out there like partying." And I'm like, dude, I'm asleep by 11:30 every night. Like It's like we play the show and I'm dead, and then you know we're waking up and driving. You know, we just did a 4.5 hour drive this morning.
So you have your routine to also take care of your body.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm on the regiment hard. Like I'm like ripping 4 throat coats a day, and like I'm a vocal steamer.
I'd be having like Taco Bell every day, stopping at any drive-through.
Yeah, and we did just catch up with Martin from Boys Like Girls, who said he went on like 10-mile bike rides.
30-mile
bike rides before every show to get his vocals warmed up.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's absolutely
I'm not sure if you're going to do that tonight before your show, but that's your competition.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to be doing that, but shout out Martin though. I love that guy, man. He is so sick. I got to open for Boys Like Girls last year for a show.
Cool.
Yeah. They're great guys, man. I talked to Martin the other day. He's a good dude.
What is it about Nashville with the music scene for you?
Dude, honestly, like I think the songwriting in Nashville is so insane. I feel like Band Camino was the first. I mean, first of all, just like shout out to them. I love those guys so much. They're like, not only are they like one of my favorite bands ever, but just great guys and just like good people. But I feel like they were the first band that I heard that was like they were making these rock songs, but then they were writing them, you know, lyrically. They were writing them as if like they were Ed Sheeran songs and almost like borderline country songs with the concepts and how like just tightly written everything was. And so yeah, like back in like 2018 when I heard them, I was like, man, like I want to make music like that. And so it is crazy that, I mean, they were my first tour ever. And you know, I've been listening to them with my little sister since like 2018. So that was like a huge thing in my household.
Living in Nashville, where's your go-to spot? Where's like the spot in Nashville?
Oh, to be honest, there's this bar that no one knows yet, so I'm kind of scared to say this.
Okay, we'll describe this bar.
Is it like open or something? Or
oh yeah, it's open, but it's kind of low key. But it's called the Lucky Duck.
All right.
Dude, it's like this underground bar. It's where me and all my friends go. Nobody goes there. It's like the ultimate vibe.
Tweet that out right now.
I'm gonna be there right next time.
Hey, you should. Next time y'all are there, pull up for sure.
I mean, Trolls Band together has brought one of the biggest boy bands back. Were you a big boy band fan? I mean, it could be BTS, could be NSYNC, Backstreet.
Dude, One Direction till I die.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry I left them out.
I don't care what anybody says. One Direction, nothing but hits. Like, especially as a songwriter, like nothing but smashes from One Direction. I love all like Harry Styles, Niall Horan, all those guys. In love.
Which one's your favorite though? Is it Harry?
Probably Harry.
Yeah.
I mean, he just looks so good.
You can't deny
it. You can't deny it. He's undeniable. He's
Let's
a superstar.
put that out there in the universe. A collaboration with Harry Styles and Knox.
Please.
Let's make it happen from the Mixed New Music Club. And Knox, you just put out your EP.
Yeah.
So how long was this kind of coming together for this EP?
I mean, to be honest, it was kind of like quick. We just kind of, we finished How to Lose a Girl in 7 Songs, and we knew, I didn't really know what was going to be next. I didn't know if we were going to do an album. I didn't know if we were going to do singles. And then, we ended up just like making all of these songs, and I feel like sometimes projects kind of create themselves in this weird way. Like, we have multiple songs that got written, a year ago that aren't going to come out till next year. But like, basically we just, I didn't tour at all last summer, so I spent the whole summer after the EP coming out just like making new songs. I mean, maybe like 100, 150 songs, like minimum. And so the next thing I knew, we had another group of like 7. We were like, oh, this is really cool. And then it kind of, I was like, I feel like I always subconsciously write like a story on accident, even though I'm not thinking about it, but it's like, oh dude, this is how I was feeling during this time, whatever. And like next thing we knew, we just kind of had this, and we were like, let's do another 7-song EP. The first one went so well, so why not do another one? And especially before the nightly tour, and have 7 new songs, because the other EP we never got a chance to go out and like play it for people. So we were just like, yeah, let's do one more, and that way we have 2 to go out and promote, and just see what happens,
And the EP's called I'm So Good at Being Alone. What was the inspo behind that?
So I was just saying, like, honestly, it was kind of like an accident how that happened. So I wrote the song I'm So Good at Being Alone like last January, and I wrote it with some guys that are like some guys I really have looked up to for a long time. And so it was already like pretty cool to do that. And I remember making the song and being like, this is like, if any of my favorite artists had put out this song, it would be my favorite song. And so I was always very focused on that track. And then when we were kind of talking about, well, what do we want to say next? Where are we like going after How to Lose a Girl in 7 songs? And so I was kind of like, man, like, what if you just added a question mark to the EP title? So then it's like, am I like, have I moved on? Am I good? Am I okay after all this? Because the other songs on the project are still kind of that heartbreaky kind of feel. And, basically that's why we had I'm So Good at Being Alone being the last song on the project, because you listen to all these like more heartbreak songs, and then like as the EP progresses, it's like, oh no, like I actually think I'm okay. Like I think I'm gonna be all right. And so yeah, that's kind of just like where we're at after How to Lose a Girl in 7 songs.
You write a lot about relationships and heartbreak. Who are some of the artists, or what songs got you through some of those challenging times?
Oh, to be honest, like I was actually just listening to this in the car. But Lauv's first album, the I Met You When I Was 18 playlist, is like, that was a huge, I feel like that was a huge like kind of turning point in my life, especially as like a creator, where like when I got into music, it was all very singer-songwriter. And I just wanted to be like, just like that. But then I learned that you could like have cool production on songs, but then also still write them like singer-songwriters. And so that was a huge one. Also, Jeremy Zucker, Love Is Not Dying, is like one of my favorite albums ever. That was another one. So it's like weird. I feel like these albums don't like represent my music in any way, but right. I feel like I've taken so much like from those guys. I love them. Chelsea Cutler too is a huge one. Like her songs are definitely like, love them. They've definitely got me through all sorts of things.
But do you have any dating deal breakers when you're first dating? You're like, this is not going to happen.
I mean, this is pretty nerdy of me, but like, so big comic book guy, loves superheroes. Right. Like, if you're not down to sit down and watch all 30-something Marvel movies, like, I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Have you ever tried sliding in the DMs? Because we did catch up with Noah Kahan, and he told us his collaboration with Post Malone happened simply because he messaged him on Instagram. Have you done that with Maddie?
So I haven't with Maddie, but it's actually funny that you bring up Noah, because like years ago, so this was Noah Kahan's actually part of the reason I moved to Nashville, because I posted a video on Twitter, like this is literally like 7 years ago. Posted a video on Twitter of a cover of a Quinn 92 song. Wow. And Noah and Quinn like messaged me and were like, dude, this is like sick. And I was like, no way, this is happening right now. I like love them. And like I said, this is forever ago. And so that had happened. And then like maybe 3 years ago, I had written a song, posted it on Twitter, and I sent it to Noah again. I was like, hey man, like what you think about this? I was like, just like to see. And he responded and was like, dude, this is like really good. And I was like, oh, awesome. Like Noah Kahan thinks my song's good. And now all this is happening again. So I messaged him on Twitter like 3 weeks ago. I was like, hey dude, like I'm like an artist now. Would love to like link up. And he never hit me back this time. So
give it time. It took him to like 6 months to hear from Posty.
That's what I'm saying. I'm manifesting.